Hey, welcome to Working Horses with Jim. I'm Brenda, Jim's wife, and I just came on out here to see what Jim's up to. He actually called and said that the flies were terrible, and he asked if I could bring out some fly spray, but we're almost out. And I did have some Skin So Soft, and you know, actually I just rubbed it on their face and their necks, and it did help quite a bit. It's not the nasty big flies. It's like a whole herd of little face flies, and they're just driving them crazy, and it makes them shake their head up and down all the time. And I said to Jim, you know, people need to know that it's not always fun and rosy out here. It's hard sometimes, and I don't want everybody to think that it's always perfect when we're working the horses here. But anyways, because like I said, the flies are bad, it's hot. Buck, for the first little while, Jim said was not working well at all, and he's calmed down now, but he's breathing a little bit hard. This is a huge field. You know, I hope you guys can see how big it is, and they've raked all this over here, and they've got a lot to go. I think he's planning on getting it all raked up today. It's drying beautifully. But, oh, there's my timer. I got a cake in the oven. I came running out here to give them the fly spray. We've got people coming tonight for supper, and I was baking a chocolate cake, and I think I gave myself a little extra time, but I got to get back. I just wanted to show you this big field, and I think we've got time to just see these guys come back down on through. This is perfect hay weather. It was due till late this morning, but the sun is out and hot, and things are drying nice. It's going to be great hay. Hope you guys can see how nice the field is raked over there. I'll try to show you on my way back. But I just wanted to show you Buck and Ken working. I'm sure they wish it was cooler. It's hot. And when you're black, your skin's, you know, when their skin is so dark, they really soak in the sun, I think, and it makes it hot for them. But they're working. Boy, that Skin So Soft helped quite a bit, I believe. One thing that Jim always says is that it's amazing how much work horses need sometimes to settle down and walk and work sensibly. So he's going to bale some of this up later, and just give you another shot here. Well, the cake is out of the oven. Everything turned out good. I'm waiting for it to cool to get some frosting on it, and I wanted to come out and show you the cows in the corn. They've started making their way back in here, and there's a lot of mooing going on. We've got the entire herd together, the young ones, the old ones, everybody. I'll try to show you more of them later, but They're doing a pretty good number here. This one's picking the ear off the ground, chewing up the ear. Eating leaves. I think a whole ear of corn over there. And say hello to everybody. This is Corny. I named her Corny last winter because she didn't like corn, but she seems to be chewing on it now. Decided you like corn? Well, as I'm out here checking out the cows, Jim's going by with the tractor and the baler. He's baling up at least the outside windrow. That's the stuff he cut first, so he's getting that done. And this is our neighbor's cow, Fergie. And Jim said she didn't want to come out here at first, but he had to lead her out, and he was saying how nice it is. She's very leadable. So I love having her here with the rest of them. She seems to fit in quite nicely. Jim's coming around again. He stopped down at the corner and stacked what was kicked in the one time around. This is going to somebody's wagon, and so they'll just take it home just as is. So he wants to get as much in there as he can for them. Most of the herd's here now. Not all of them, but most of them. And they're really enjoying themselves.
Good morning. Well, yesterday we were able to get 2 loads baled up out of that field, which is actually more than I expected to bale. Today there should be a couple more loads and that will be done. I decided to let the blacks have the day off today. As you can see, they're out in the pasture. And the little bit of raking I have to do today, I will use the Belgians. But what I wanted to show you this morning is a couple things, partially what Brenda is doing right now. She is combing Baron, our new stallion's mane.
More?
Even like that square stuff there, if you can get it from being square. See, I'm just grabbing hairs and pulling.
Yeah.
Do you think it's helped it?
Yeah, but if you do it with this just a little bit. Yeah, like this looks a little bit. You are so sweet.
Okay, we both came to the conclusion we don't know what we're doing. When it comes to manes, if it was my preference, I'd be just cutting it right off as a roached mane and but it's a little early for that anyway, so we'll just leave it as is, and maybe you guys could tell us the best way we should have done it. Okay, the last time I was using Baron, I was just using Lady's harness and her collar. So I got a different collar. Actually, I have this collar. This is a 25-inch collar, and it has quite a narrow, thin pad. So let's see how this fits on them. Actually, I already know because I tried once already. Okay. This is a 25, like I said, and it is definitely too small. But for what we're doing with him, it'll be fine. There you go. Okay, so I changed the hames. So the hames are in the center hole for the 26-inch collars, which is what I have on all the other horses. And so this is a 25-inch collar, so I had to drop this down to the bottom hole. So I'll just tighten up the knot, and then we can adjust everything else. Okay, so I've shown this on before, but I'll show it again. These hames have these hame fasteners like this that work so good. And when you've got a new setup like this, one thing you got to really be careful of is making sure your place where the tugs hitch on are in the right spot on that collar. There's these things right here with an extra set of leather. That's where they belong. But there's also, I kind of go from the bottom here and make sure it's the same on both sides. Don't you bite. And then, and if this tightens up snugly like I have it right here, everything's good. Another way to do it is to come back here and look at the top of the hames and make sure they're as close to being level as possible. You don't want one hame down lower than the other. I personally do not like this size hame on this size collar. It fits really good, no problems there. It's just, to me, it looks kind of weird with these being so high off the top of the collar. But that's mostly just because it's of what I'm used to. But anyways, that collar fits good, and the hames fit good. He can work in that probably, depends on how fast he grows. He can work in this probably for the next 6 months, I bet, without a problem at all. So now I'm going to pull the breeching over his butt, and to see how we are for length. Before I do that, though, I'm actually going to check this out. This is the top of the spider. I call it spider, and I'm trying to adjust where it should be. And it's surprising. I'm not sure which harness this is. If this was off, this is Bill's harness. This is Bill's old harness. Bill is quite a short horse, and it's surprising because this could almost be back even a little bit more. But for right now, I'm going to leave it right there, slide the breeching over his butt, and inspect things. That's a pretty good fit. I'll probably, I don't know, this is a little bit lower than I want it to be. It should be a little bit higher. I probably should get a couple more holes, or one more hole in here, and so that I could slide these up more where I want them to be. But this grouper is not too bad, although I think it's a little bit short. So I can adjust it one or two ways. I can adjust it with this. I don't like it this close to the end because there's no spot for it to be put, but I think it'll be all right. There. Actually, I do need to go up to there, so that's good and snug. That's not bad. I think I'm going to leave that right like that. It's quite surprising that fits pretty darn nice. I think I'm going to leave it right that for now. At some point, I'm going to put another hole here to slide this up, to bring this up just a touch higher. And maybe even this one here also. And same with on this side here. Okay, I'm going to put the belly girth on, and I'm quite sure that will fit all right. Get up, Baron, get up. Get up, get up. Here. I'll have to snug this up to the last hole. Well, second, get over. Get over, get over, get over. Get over, get over. Oh. Guess I'll go to the second to last hole. These holes haven't been used too much, so they're there. Okay. I think we haven't done it for a while, but I'm going to put a halter on them, a bridle on them, and take them for a quick spin around the driveway. I can't remember when we did that last. It would have been in my last video because I've actually been hitching. I have videoed him every step of the way now. So let's go see how he does. So I'm going to put my single lines on this harness, and this is the harness that he'll be using, and he'll be driven single for a while, although I do have plans on hitching him up fairly soon to another horse. Get her. Get her. Get her. Get her. Get over. Get over. I am a little bit concerned about doing what I'm doing, because I really am you're seeing it firsthand. Thing could go really bad and that wouldn't be good. But yeah, I guess it's still the best way to do it so you can see what can go wrong if something goes wrong. I haven't got a bridle set up for him yet, so I'm just going to steal, I guess I'll just steal Ken's bridle. Get him. That's not going to work unless I adjust it. And I think I'm going to adjust it because I actually got new bridles for my new harnesses, and so they can be used on either Buck or Ken, and I think I would rather use these for the colts, so I'm just going to adjust it to fit him properly. And then we'll just leave it adjusted for him.
So what'd you do? You're making it shorter?
I'm making it shorter, yes. Because he has a small head. And because they're colts, I don't bother taking their halters off. I just leave the halters right on and put the bridle right over the top.
He's got his tongue underneath where it's supposed to be. It's good.
lot of people kind of wonder where a bridle, the bit should be in a horse's mouth, how tight the bridle should be. And I am seeing it's still not short enough. What it should do is kind of squeeze just a tiny little bit on his mouth, and that is not doing it. It's just hanging in there. So I'm hoping I've got one more hole here, and I do. Yeah, that's a lot better fit. Of course, as a colt, he chews on it a lot more than an older horse would. The horse that's used to a bit just lets it be, but he is not really used to it, so he does quite a bit of chewing just to figure out what's going on. Okay, so let's back up, and I'm going to have you lead him, Brenda. Back up, because it's been so long since I've done this.
Okay.
Back up. Back. Back up. Back. 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 He doesn't know how to back with a bit, so I'm kind of using my elbow here and pushing his nose back as we back out of the stall. Okay, come here. Oh. Okay, Brand, if you can come here. Like we've done this before, you're just going to lead him, and hopefully for just a short period of time, and then we can let go. As you can see, I didn't bother hitching up my check rein because he just doesn't need check rein at this time, so I'm not going to bother with that. And one thing I hate about a foretop, and that's the first thing I will cut, is I hate all this hair flying all over the place. You know, some people pull it all out and do this, and different ways around it, I'm sure, but it's just so simple with the roach mane to just get rid of this hair.
Different strokes for different folks.
Oh. Okay, Brenda, cap step. I should look back to see when I did that other video of him driving around. Did it a couple different times during that little stretch, and but I haven't done it since then. He's been out to pasture, and so we're gonna see how he goes. He seems to be going pretty good. Brenda, you can back right up and unsnap that. Stay walking in front of him though. He is doing amazingly well. I'm gonna stop, Brenda. Oh. I'm gonna go, Brenda. Cap stop. I meant you go with us, but you didn't need to.
Oh, I thought you meant
That was
me
amazing.
not.
He just took right off nicely.
I was just thinking, he doesn't need me.
This is really amazing. Got to give credit to this Suffolk breed, although I shouldn't talk too soon, but for them to just continue on with the training process pretty well right where he stopped. I hear a car coming. Gee. Careful. Guess there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, these colts are in the pasture right next to the road, so they're should be used to cars. Although the strangest thing with Ken was not born here, but I got him at 6 months old, and he was right next to the road all his life, and he still freaks out sometimes with cars and trucks. Just trucks, actually. So he's doing so good. I'm gonna make the loop around the old sugar house, go around some equipment, all that good stuff. Kind of almost find things that will scare him to see how he reacts. The more a horse is trained single in his early years especially, the better he is as a team. He just has all those commands he's taught, and he is the only one getting those commands, so he's the one that has to obey completely. A lot of times in a team, you have one horse that is a little bit more responsive than the other one, and the other one after a while just tends to follow the other horse, and he's not actually learning, taking commands from myself, the driver. He's just following the horse, which is not a good thing. So I'm going to try and stop him. Oh, good boy. Oh. As Brenda walked ahead, he tried to follow her. Cap stop. There's the guineas. Oh, Brenda's wild birds. Yesterday I was headed out to bale hay, and all the guineas were up on top of one of the wagons, the wagon that I was taking, and they just kind of did a bunch of screaming and stayed on it for a few seconds, then they flew off. It was kind of funny. Brenda regretted not being there so she could have filmed it.
I don't know why you didn't film it.
So I'm going to go around the loop the opposite way.
Maybe we should take him through the garden.
I don't think so. It's not a road there I could walk to. Not a single road.
Right there at the end. No, that might be scary with a fence.
I will. I'll go down there by the chicken pen and walk around the garden if you'll let me. Careful, huh? You know, you gotta be so careful with horses like this. You know, they can be doing so good, and then all of a sudden you just can't ever put your what's it called? You can't put your
Finger?
No. You just can never expect the best for them all the time. You know, they can just all of a sudden bolt on you. And then, you know, if you're not ready, you can get into a lot of trouble. So here's a little bit of a tunnel that we're going to try to go through. Oh. Cap stop. Careful. Cap stop. Oh. I don't know if I've even talked about this before. You won't see it on my videos very often, but you know, there are times when you have to use your lines and actually hit the horse. And a lot of people think that's awful, but it's just the fact of life. When you're training a horse to go ahead like this, they may not respond to you right off. And what you want is pretty well immediate response. So when you when you ask them to go, if they don't move immediately, I like to just take my lines and hit them. In a second here, when I get them settled down here, I'll show you what I mean. Cap stop. Now if I didn't hit him, and if he just stayed there for a long period of time, not moving while I'm telling him to go, it's just the absolute worst thing you can do. There are just so many times when, especially training a colt, where you've got to get after the horse a little bit, you know. A lot of people will use a whip, and that works great too. I've done that before. Calf step. But just a quick snap of the lines is usually all it takes to get them to go ahead. I can remember when we were working before, this left-hand turn I was having trouble with. Remember that, Brenda?
Yeah.
Still am. And it seems like when he turns right, he's not a problem at all, but the left-hand turn is a little bit more difficult. But we'll just work on it.
Kind of weird with that check rein hanging down.
Yeah, it's just flop forward, that's all. And I could have hitched it up, as long as I hitched it up long. Oh, because it's hanging there, okay. I am gonna pull it up here. And let's see where it is adjusted at. Let's see, it's too short, see that? Oh. I don't want it short. So, some point before I actually hitch it up, I'll adjust this so it's a lot longer. I calf step. Careful. So we'll head to the barn, and that will be our lesson for today. Oh, I'm stopping him here, and I'm gonna take his harness, his bridle off him right here, because this is the practice I've always done with my horses, and this is something he will get used to and do also. So now I'm taking the lines off and making him stand right here, and then of course he has a halter on, so it's really simple. With him, I will pull the bridle off right here, and I still have his halter. It's not like I'm just gonna let him go loose like I do with the older horses. And so if you can take that bridle and give me that rope, I normally and will generally unharness in his stall just like he's harnessed up in his stall, which I really like to do, because a lot of times I'll harness up and they may stay there for a few hours before I actually use them. But for this today, right now, I'm going to tie him to the post and unharness him outside the stall just so he gets used to both ways. Come here. He's thirsty from such a hard workout.
What is it?
Just the way I just know where to put the draft on the collar, but on the hames. But that's another story for another time. Come here. So I come back here, take the crupper off, get it out from around his tail. If I was concerned with him, I would actually slide the breeching up the top here. But he has, so far every time I've harnessed up, never been an issue, so I'm not going to worry about that. Unhitch the belly girth. Release that. Unhitch the hames. Throw them on the back. Grab the hames in my left hand. and walk back, kind of giving it a little bit of a twist. Back on my shoulder. And back on the hook. This harness setup that I have, adjusted like it is, I will probably use, not today, but that same collar on the colts when I start back working them also. That way that harness will be all set up for them. Okay. Over his head, not a problem. Now Brenda can brush him again.
Yep.
Come here. Amy. Since Brenda's got done work just a little over a year ago now, she's brushed more horses in this past year than she has in many lifetimes, I believe.
Yep. I've brushed a lot.
And I must say she does a wonderful job.
And I must say I love doing it.
She brushed these two this morning because we're going to go hitch up after coffee break and rake the rest of that hay to get it baled up. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Oh, and we have leftover cake too, so we can have a piece of cake.
Oh, good. Good. You guys have a great day while I go and enjoy my cake and coffee.